and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Hishain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Central Bank permits Swarna Mahal Financial Services to resume business for a limited period under strict conditions. Why was Ukraine chosen for the tourism pilot project? Minister explains. News in detail. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has permitted Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC to resume business subject to several strict conditions for a limited period of 3 months from tomorrow to 12th April this year, only for the purpose of repayment of the 50% of the remaining deposits of the company.
Due to the various irregularities taken place and inability of the Board of Directors and the senior management of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC to address the resultant issues, the Monetary Board on 2nd January 2018 issued directions to the directors of the company and appointed a panel of management to oversee the affairs of the company. Even though the Monetary Board directed the Board of Directors of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC to bring suitable investors to revive the company, no viable investment proposal was available and the financial condition of the company continued to deteriorate. In the meantime, 30% of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC deposits was repaid in 2018 and 2019. Having considered the continuously deteriorating financial condition and non-availability of a viable revival plan, the Monetary Board decided to suspend the businesses of Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC with effect from 13 July 2020. Moreover, the Monetary Board has decided to permit Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC to resume business notionally for 3 months from tomorrow to 12th April 2021 only for the purpose of implementation of the repayment plan. However, CBSL informs that Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC has not been permitted to carry on any finance business or non-finance business whatsoever except executing the repayment plan and recovering of all money due to the company. Therefore, the public is kindly requested to refrain from placing deposits or engaging in any other businesses with Swarna Mahal Financial Services PLC in any manner other than settlement of any dues.
Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Uday Gammampila stresses that the government encourages all the investors to reinvest their bonds. Addressing the weekly Cabinet media briefing this morning, Minister Gammampila said that it was a process of rolling over and the advantage was taken by the government in foreign debt repayment in 2020.
Last year, our total amount payable was $6.8 billion, but we were able to roll over bonds worth of 2.3 billion. In other words, holders of those bonds decided to reinvest in the bonds, roll over in capital as well as the interest as a further investment. That's why we were able to fully settle $6.8 billion worth loans by just paying $4.5 billion. This year, our total liability is $6,865 million, so more or less the same, or slightly more, I would say. So we are confident, as we did in the previous year, we will be able to settle the entire amount without any delay or without any default. Yes, we encourage investors to roll over their investment as much as possible. If they do so, that will be a great relief for the government.
An extension of the concessionary period for private sector employee wages was agreed upon by the Cabinet of Ministers until March this year due to this still prevalent COVID-19.
It has been agreed that the payment of salaries to the employees in the private sector amidst the pandemic is subjected to continuation of their occupations without any loss up to 31st December 2020, providing proportionate opportunities to work for every employee, either by paying 50% or 14,500 rupees of the last month's salary as well as repayment of contribution fee to Employees Provident Fund and Employees Trust Fund by the employer. as it was decided on the meeting held with the participation of the entrepreneurs, employee trade unions, National Labour Advisory Council, the Ministry of Labour and Department of Labour. The Cabinet of Ministers granted their agreement for the resolution tabled by the Minister of Labour Dinesh Gunawardena to extend the previously mentioned concessions further up to the month of March 2021. On the other hand, co-cabinet spokesperson Uday Gammampila added that plans to upgrade and launch a public transport service with modern facilities in Colombo and suburbs with parking facilities is decided under the supervision of the State Ministry of Vehicle Regulation, Bus Transport Services and Train Compartment and Motor Car Industry. He also stated that need to purchase 200 low-floor buses suitable for short-distance travel with more comforts was identified in place of the existing buses. Thus, the Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by Minister of Transport Gamini Lokuge to purchase 200 high-quality low-floor buses following the limited competitive bidding process from reputable local companies and to secure necessary funds for this purpose.
The Cabinet has approved amendments for cess levy on imports for footwear and other goods. Moreover, an online tea market platform will be established to improve exports and to promote the Lion logo in the online tea market.
The Cabinet of Ministers approved resolutions of the Gazette notification dated 28 October 2020 for the amendment of cess levy for the import of footwear under the provisions of Sri Lanka Export Development Act No. 40 of 1979, followed by the Gazette notification on the 29th October 2020 to revise the cess levy for certain other goods. Moreover, the Cabinet of Ministers also granted approval for the amendment of the Tea Control Act No. 51 of 1937, which included provisions such as inclusion of a definition in the Act as recycled tea for tea that is discarded after categorization in the production process of tea factories, naming the remainder as rejected tea after further extraction of the finished tea from the recycled tea, inclusion of the legal provisions affecting them into the Act, including the registration, licensing and administration of tea processes. It was also proposed to sign a Memorandum of Understanding between Fujian Star China International Trade Company Limited, which is a subsidiary company of Beni Tea Industry Company Limited, engaged in import and exports to develop a 5G online marketing platform that caters the network of storing and handing over in China for promoting and marketing Sri Lanka tea logo online, apart from distributing tea in China. The Cabinet of Ministers agreed to the proposal submitted by the Minister of Plantation for entering into a Memorandum of Understanding between Sri Lanka Tea Board and Fujian Star China International Trade Company Limited for marketing pure Ceylon tea both online and offline, utilizing the probabilities in Chinese tea market.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Committee on Public Enterprises states that the Mahapala Higher Education Scholarship Trust Fund has incurred a loss of 673 million rupees owing to irregularities in online lottery of the Mahapala Trust Fund.
It was revealed at the Committee on Public Enterprises that the Mahapala Higher Education Scholarship Trust Fund had not received a sum of 673 million rupees from the sale of an online lottery of the Mahapala Trust Fund, which was sold through another intermediary. COPE Chairman Professor Charita Hera, Director Secretary to the Ministry of Trade J.M. Badran Jayawardhan, to inform the Attorney General and refer the matter to the Criminal Investigation Department for a formal inquiry, as this was a large-scale corruption. In addition, due to insufficient capital gains on securities transactions of companies under the Mahapala Trust Fund in 2015 and 2016, 18 million rupees and 102 million rupee losses have been incurred respectively. It was also revealed that a loss of 13 million rupees has been incurred during the repurchases made using investments in National Wealth Corporation in 2017. The committee stressed that these irregularities had caused huge losses to the fund. Officials said that the cabinet had approved the liquidation of these institutions as it was not necessary to continue running at a loss. Commenting on this, COPE chairman Professor Charita Herath said that although it would not be a problem to liquidate after punishing the culprits, it would not be appropriate to liquidate these institutions without proper investigation in the situation of such a large-scale fraud.
Co-cabinet spokesperson Minister Uday Gammanpilla was also questioned by media over the arrival of Ukraine tourists while the Ukraine is in a lockdown situation. Minister Gammanpilla asserted that Sri Lanka is in a dire need of foreign exchange and needed to go for possible ways and means.
ඒ නිසා සංචාරක ව්‍යාපාරයේ අපේ විදේශ විනිමය කළමනාකරණයේදී අතිශයින්ම තීරණාත්මක සාධකයක් වසරකට ආසන්න කාලයක් සංචාරක ව්‍යාපාරයේ අඩපණවීමෙන් එක පැත්තක ආණ්ඩුව විදේශ විනිමය හිගයකට මුහුණ පෑවා. ඒ වගේම ඍජු සහ වක්‍ර රැකියා ලක්ෂ 30කට අධික පිරිසක් මෙයින් දුෂ්කරතාවයන්ට මුහුණ පෑවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි යුක්‍රේන සංචාරකයන් ගෙනීමේ නියම ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරේ. නියම ව්‍යාපෘතිය යටතේ 1004ක් සංචාරකයන් 8 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට පැමිණලා තියෙනවා. අපිට කොවිඩ් මර්ධන ජනාධිපති කාර්යසාධක බලකාය ලබා දුන්න තොරතුරු වන විට 8 වෙනිදා වෙන විට පැමිණ සිටි සංචාරකයන් 1004න් 3 දෙනෙකුට පමණයි කොරෝනා රෝගයට ගොදුරු වී සිටියේ 0.03%ටත් අඩු ප්‍රතිශතයක්. අපි ගත්තොත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ මන්ත්‍රීවරු 225ටත් 3 දෙනෙකුට මේ වෙනකොට කොරෝනා රෝගයට ගොදුරු වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ජනවාරි මාසයේ 21 වෙනිදා සිට ගුවන් තොටුපොළ විවෘත කරන්න අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. අපි මේ වෙන විට ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් විදේශගත ශ්‍රමිකයන් ලෙස කටයුතු කරමින් සිටි ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් 69707ක් ලංකාවට ගෙනලා තියෙනවා. ඔවුන්ගෙන් 1807 දෙනෙක් කොරෝනා රෝගයට ගොදුරු වී ඇති බව පරීක්ෂණ වලින් අපි හොයාගත්තා.
IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, has agreed to provide a $25 million loan to Nations Trust Bank in an effort to provide improved access to critical working capital for Sri Lankan businesses impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic and to help preserve jobs.
Thus, this financing package, which will be used by NTB to help small and medium-sized enterprises and corporates, is part of IFC's $8 billion global COVID-19 fast-track financing facility supporting companies to stay afloat during the ongoing public health crisis. This investment comes under the Working Capital Solutions Program of the COVID-19 Response Envelope, which provides $2 billion globally to emerging market banks, enabling them to keep operating and preserve jobs. This is IFC's second investment in Sri Lanka through its global $8 billion fast-track COVID-19 facility. IFC also provided a $50 million loan to Commercial Bank of Ceylon to expand lending to SMEs affected by COVID-19, with over a third dedicated to women-owned businesses. On the other hand, Commercial Bank of Ceylon added that the high volume of concession loans was in addition to the relief that the bank granted to customers in the form of debt, capital or interest moratoriums on 81,387 existing loans with a capital outstanding of 443 billion rupees, as well as repayment of outstanding credit card balances. The total of 29.6 billion rupees in COVID-19 support loans disbursed by the bank as of 30 December 2020 under multiple relief schemes to provide working capital loans to pandemic-affected businesses included loans provided under the central bank mandated program as well as the bank's own support schemes. Under the Working Capital Loan Scheme titled Saubhagya COVID-19 Renaissance Facility launched by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Commercial Bank has registered 5,637 applications with a total value of 28 billion rupees over the 3 phases of the program and disbursed 5,387 loans with a value of 26.6 billion rupees at the close of 2020.
Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All Share Price Index gained 78.61 points to close at 7,282.24, and the S&P SL20 gained 11.56 points to close at 2,742.41. The turnover was 8.5 billion rupees and over 544 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with City Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.